Multilingual Module 4 Subform for Controls. Another free lesson to help you become a better coder. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Your continued support helps make these videos possible. And as always, I thank you all for watching this video. In the first video, we added a language, and in the second video, we implemented the object names, which holds information for the form or the report. And in the third module, we implemented the controls. In this video, we are going to add the subform in order for us to update the controls on the fly. Let's see how I accomplish this. Good morning, good morning. All right, let's get the highlighter up, and let's go to our folder. We are going to continue with our multilingual. Go to the project, multilingual. Let's make a copy of this module 3. Copy, paste, and let's make that a 4. We did the language, we did the object names, and then we did the controls for the object, which is the form or the report. Today, we are going to add the subform that we started yesterday, right there, and put it in here. Put it in there. All right. So that's what we're going to be doing. But before we do that, I want to take a look at this default language, as I was thinking after releasing that last video. If I look at this guy, this form language, it says display default language. Why would you want to display the default language? Well, you could. What I really want to do here is not displaying the default language, but display the select language. For instance, we have a default language here as in English, right? What if we want French to be our select language, and we only want to, when we load this guy, we want to load French or German or Thai or Italian? You know what I'm saying? You don't want to keep displaying the default language. We want to display the language that we selected to be displayed. All right. So that's what I was thinking after looking at it. You know, after brainstorming and taking a look at the stuff. So that's what we're going to be doing. Let's add a couple, maybe one more bit into this language here. All right. So now we've got this language, the language as is default or not default. Now we need is selected. All right. And let's make that number. Now we can say, hey, let's make this guy a select language. So when we launch our application, we're going to go into that table and say, hey, give me the select language, not the default. All right. The default is used to load up the controls for us, the forms and the controls. We define everything in the default. But when we add new language, we're going to load everything from the default into the new one. All right. And if we want that new language to be a select language, then that's what we mark it. All right. Well, that's the idea. and you will see as we progress. So that's what I was looking at, I was thinking. Alright, so let's go back to the code behind here. Let's modify that language. So let's add one more bit in here. It says selected. Alright, so we're gonna find out if that language is selected. And then I'm gonna copy this guy and make that, copy this guy as well, copy, paste, make sure you take the I out, take that I out, like so. Alright, so let's modify this language, the VBA Access, the middle layer. Yeah, as I was looking at it, said, wait a minute. Because you don't always want to, you know, display the select the default language. That's where, you know, these are the things that, you know, programmers do, that even if they close the computer, just think about it. Yeah, if you do programming a lot, that's what you do. You're looking into this, looking in the air, and just your mind is still looking at the code. Okay, that's good. All right, and that's good. All right, and and we are going to on the default here, we are going to pre-select this guy as a selected language as well. As a matter of fact, we don't need to. We just leave that 0. All right. Now, if you don't set it right here because it's already set it in there, that's that. Okay. One more thing. All right, one more thing that we need to do. Before we do that, let's go in there and update this guy as 1. Otherwise it's going to bark at us. Let me show you. Right now we have 1 record. Let me show you something here. What happens if we do execute? Alright, now look at this. We got 2. You see there? Well, you cannot have 2 default languages. It's going to keep adding this guy. Let's close that out. Let's do it again. You see? Well, it's already in that memory because that global, because of that global right here. Oh no. Yeah. You don't want to keep doing this. All right. So if you shut that guy down and then open up it again, look. Well, anyways, it's going to keep adding, all right, over and over, because we have not defined it. Say, hey, if you don't exist, just like this guy, if you don't exist, add it. All right, so that's what we want to do here. Let's do that. Let's do if language VBA access default exists. You see here? Oops. Then add. One thing that I'm looking at here as see this default language. We don't want the default language to be up here. So I'm gonna take that out. We don't want it to be up there. we want to define it. We want to explicitly define this. All right. So let's make the language here. Let's call this one default as language. Alright, so that should be the same name as this guy actually. There. Alright, now let's jump back to our default language. Now we can pass in all our language, which is all, right? Which is all, yeah, language, just like that. So now we say, okay, if you not exist, let's add a not in here. If you not exist, you add it for me. Add it for me. All right, and then we'll continue with the rest of the code. All right. So that's there, and that's why it keeps it. Yeah, it's going to keep adding this guy eventually, and we don't want that. We only want to see one. We only want to see one. So if we delete this guy, that second one, right now let's execute. It should not add anything in here. You see there? Execute again. Should not add anything in there because it already exists. It already exists. Also, one thing that I want to do here, I don't want to make a new here. All right, because if you make a, well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's just put it, yeah. That way we don't have to define it inside here. Okay, so that's fine. That's the first issue that I was looking at. The second issue, so well, let's continue fixing and deleting the whole thing here before we all right, so let's execute that. See the default here. This is the second dilemma right here. This is the second dilemma. We don't want to keep displaying the default language. We want to display the select language. Right? You will see when I start implementing the subform. Alright. Well, we don't have to implement the subform. We can implement this guy. So what really happens here? We want to display the select language. You see, if you know what I mean. The default language is used to define all our controls, the object names and the controls and the language. But this one is going to display what we selected. Okay, so let's make this guy display selected language, and I think I should have put that guy back in here. All selected language here as language. I think this is what I was thinking here. All right, so I'm gonna copy that, put that guy in there, and what we need here, we need to add another one. Now this one is the default language, but what about the select language? All right, so I'm gonna copy that and then say selected language exists. I'm gonna copy that before I forget. Copy, put it, replace that guy, because if it barks at us, we know where to go. And then this would be the selected. All right, and we don't need this guy because that variable, the select language, will be global to this file. All right, copy, replace that. Save. Let's see what else. So this one is we explicitly default send the object in there. That's fine. So as this one is just looking for the select with the ID. So that's what we want. Now we have to say selected. If selected, there, see there, and we want to come in here. Alright, so let's update our form. So instead of displaying the default language, we want to say display the selected language. That's more like it. Alright, so that's how that works. Alright, let's run this and let's take a look, see if it barks at us. That looks right. Okay, that looks right. Except we don't see the what happened? We don't see the language. Oh, we haven't. Okay, good. Okay, alright. So let's execute this. Good. Do we have anything? Good. Do we have anything in the form? That's a form language. How about the controls? Perfect. And that's what we want. And these guys will not be modified. So as you can click on this guy as many times you want. It's not going to do anything. You see? You click that execute as often as you want. It's not going to do anything. Alright, it's preventing it from keep creating. Alright, because these are only the defaults that we have. We don't want to keep adding them. Alright, we don't want to keep adding them. So that's what I was, when I was looking at it, I said, wait a minute, we got this guy, see, if you don't exist, add. If you don't exist, add. And here we need to do the same thing here. If you don't exist, add the default. Alright, good. Now let's click refresh. This is a refresh button. The refresh button doesn't work. It doesn't work. Well, let's take a look why it doesn't work. Right here. So if this guy, let me see. Oh, I know why. Show you why. If you go to the bottom here, this is default, not selected. So we will change that to selected. That's why. There. Now it should say something there. Now we have something. Also, let's validate this. Make sure that guy is selected. You see there? So we gotta make that guy select as well. Alright, so that's good. That's good. That should be good. Now let's see if we can click this refresh. See if it's going to display all stuff. It's still not displaying. Well, let's debug this. We want this to be right before we start implementing. Let's follow through with this. It doesn't go in there. Let's stop that. Let's try it again. It doesn't go in there. Okay, it doesn't go in there. Let's go in here. Oh, it says set execute, but we don't have to refresh. Okay, we haven't no wonder it doesn't go in there. We have to close this out and reopen, because I noticed here we don't have that click button, the refresh button. Alright, but we have the load right here. So on load it's going to do this, display selected language for us. Alright, let's try that. No wonder that click button doesn't work. That's better. So that's what we want. Okay, that's good. All right, that's good. So we resolve the problem with select and default language here. Let's kind of run through this because I notice it keeps adding. All right, so we prevent that from adding, keep adding the default language, which is good. Also, in the language display here, instead of displaying the default language, we don't want that. We want to display what language we selected. All right. So that's where that happens. Okay, that's where that happens. So now let's implement this guy, the subform here. We're gonna go in there and massage these guys a little bit here. First off, we don't need these. All right, we don't need those. And let's go to code behind. We don't need anything here. All right, Control S, save that, hop back to the front, change this guy to text box. All right, and then we're gonna need the form header here. All right, let's change that background to background 1. Background 1, like so. We also don't want the alternate color on this, the detail. Click on the detail bar here, and we're going to say alternate color, no color. All right, now let's take that label out and put it right on top. Okay, this form, the record will be the control, so we're going to type in object control name here. The record source, object control name, perfect. Object control name, and let's massage this guy. We're gonna add 2-3 of them in here. So copy, paste, move that to the right. Let's add, how about 3 more? See what, and if we don't need it, we can always delete. This first one will be the ID, control name ID. The second one, we just go in order. All right, and the third, we just go in order. The third one, control name, and the fourth, property, and the fifth, display. Also, as I'm typing here, I notice in order to modify the subform controls, you need to have you need to be able to identify this guy. All right, for instance, let's go to code behind here. When we say display this property here, you see there, when we set this display name, this is for the control on the main form. So on this form, you cannot do this with the subform. So in order to do that, we got to add a couple more bits to identify if this control is in the main form or in the subform. All right, because in the subform you have to identify it like this, you see. All right, well, if you do that on here, you have no way of distinguish if it's a main form control or the subform control. All right, so let's add a couple more bits in here. Yeah, as I was typing in here, I just started noticing there's something that when we tie this guy together, we are going to need to identify is, well, you can do two things. We can do this. We're going to say subform name as a text, and then I'm going to put subform name on top. So this will be a subform name and a control. If it's empty, then it's not and then it's a main form. If there's something in there, then it's a subform. That's how we're gonna identify it. All right. So I'm gonna copy that. Save. Let's massage the class and the module. Let's go back to the code. We're gonna add that to a string text right here. S. Yeah, as as I was typing, sometimes that's what happens. It comes in your head to say, okay, how are you gonna display this, that, and whatever. Yeah, I'm gonna copy this guy right here. Copy, like so. Also copy this subform name right there. Replace that guy there. All right, save. Let's update this DB access. That's right, object control name. Okay, something's not right. It didn't give us the I'm gonna undo that for now. Save and debug. Something's not right. It did not give us the IntelliSense. Let's see, subform name. That looks right. That looks right. Let's debug that again, compile that again. Hold on. Let's save. Okay. Well, object control name. Oh, there you go. Maybe I mistyped. All right, let's go up there. Object. Like so. And then last one. Yeah, we want to be able to distinguish if it's a main form. Let's see, object control name. Save. That looks good. Now, before we continue, we want to add these default items in here. I'm going to okay, we haven't added the controls there, so you don't have to add the control, the subform name in here, because it already set empty here. All right, when you construct this guy, it already set empty. So in here you don't have to set this guy unless the controls are in the subform. So now before we continue, let's jump back to language. Let's identify this guy now. All right. Now we can say if or else subform is not empty, then we know it's a subform item, else it's a main form item. All right. So that's how that works there. And now I'm gonna copy this guy. Copy there, and now this guy is the control, but we gotta identify it's a subform name here. See, then we're gonna say okay, subform name. all right, and then we'll say form. See, just like that. Now this form, all right, see that form, say this is the main control, this controls on the main form. However, this guy says this is a control on the form for this guy. That's what it means, all right, and everything else should be fine. And that's how we identify it. So this will identify, this will update the subform items for us. All right, so save that. Now we gotta add these bits right here. All right, so now we are here, we're here. We need to add those two guys, those guy, or the, I'm gonna copy this guy, copy paste, and this will be see that subform name. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna put this subform name right around here, and this guy is, what is the index on this guy? 0. We're gonna make this guy a 1 and a 2. 2. All right. We're gonna hide this guy. We don't need to know. We don't need to see that, because this is going to be part of this subroutine. Is going to be part of this guy right here. Let me show you. Design view. It's going to be part of this guy. This is the object names right here. So that's why we don't have to show it there. All right. So let's do that. We're gonna say, yeah, let's massage this a bit here. I'm gonna make this guy so hopefully the controls are going to be, yeah, this is the control ID. I'm gonna make this guy very small and then make him invisible. We don't want to see him. See, invisible. No. We're gonna make him to send him to the back. Send to back. All right. So, but he can live there. Now this guy, all right, is a subform name. I want to make sure that I give it a name. It could be long. It could be right about there. All right. See how long this subform name is? Look at that. So we're gonna kind of plan ahead. Make sure if we have a long name, make sure it goes right in there. Now this is the control name. Similarly, the control name could be a long name. So you know me, I type it exactly the way it is. All right. And the property. So that's good right there, property. It could be a caption. You see how this, we can identify anything, any one of these guys here. A scroll bar, a font name, so we can identify or manipulate any of these property right here. But right now we're just working with the object. All right. So that property name, it could be any one of these guys. All right. So that's good right there. I leave it right there. And here's this display name. Now display name, or these labels right here. So so that's up to you how you want it to be there. But that looks good right there. That looks good right there. I am going to yeah, I'm gonna move that guy up there. That looks good. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Let's make 5 labels here. Let's make 5 labels. Copy. That's 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right. Let's massage this latest one, last one. There. That looks good right there. Let's move it up so we can know if it's right close. There. And then this next one. That looks right. And this next one. And this next one. Let's move that guy away from the wall. Let's give a back style normal and give it a color. That looks good. How about the border style? How about solid? That way we'll see something. Alright, so that's good. So that's what we want. Save. Now let's give this label a name so we can add the control. That is this guy right here. So I'm gonna copy that. Copy and put LBL in front. And there. And this second one is LBL Subform name. So you have to identify this and add this to default control name LBL property LBL display text. Alright, so let's add this book in there. This guy's a long name, so I'm just going to copy. Now let's go to the default. Right here, we need to add here. How many of them? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Let's add 5 controls here. So I'm just gonna copy that first one. That's our first set. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now I need to grab this guy. Oops. Where are you? Right there. Grab this name right here, because it's a long name, and go up to the first one that we're gonna modify. 1, 2, 3, 4 right there, and this will be the 5th one. So this would be that, and the display name is ID. All right, and here, check this out. Copy. That's a control name. This is where subform name goes to. You see there? Right? So subform name is SFRM right here. You see this right here on the left hand side? We're just going to copy as is. Language underscore control name. You see right here? Alright. So, but before we add all bunch of these in there, actually we'll go to the next one. What is the next one? Next one is subform name. Right here, LBL subform name, and we want this guy to say subform name. Alright, and the next one is control name. LBL control name, and here we will say control name. See there how easy that is? And then the next one is LBL property. How do I know that? I just remember. And then the next one is display text, LBL, display text. And then here when you say display space text. Alright, now don't forget, this subform name is important. That will distinguish it. That will tell, hey, this control is in the subform right there. You see that? All I have to do is copy that book in there. There. Oops. There. Alright. Save. And that's how that's gonna work. That's how that's gonna work. Alright. That looks good right there. Now. Let's close everybody here. Close all. Look at here. We've got this guy. We should see 5 labels in here. We should have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 in here. Alright, if we execute it. See if it does. Let's take a look. Okay, something is not in the collection. Okay, I know why. So that means we have to add this guy in there. What happened here, if you notice, alright, so let me show you what happened. If you click on this guy, alright, the first thing that it does is say, hey, go display this guy. Alright, see, watch. Right here, see? Go display the select language. It comes in here. Well, this right here is say, hey, I'm looking for this subform name. It's not there. That's the problem. Alright, let's take a look at it again. So this is good for you to debug. So anytime something happens, you gotta understand what's going on. So we know it says new language here, item not found. Okay, new language ID, not item not found. New language ID, item not found. Let's take a look at new language ID. Oh, see there? It's in here. I know it's in here because see there, new language. We forgot to update that guy. Let's take a look at that again after we modify that thing. I know it's in here. We didn't do this portion right here. See there? So that's why it's important if you put that error in there. So when it box ID, you know exactly what it go to. Let's double check on the other ones. Yeah, see there? We copy that guy up there. So these are the things that we have to remember. All right. If you do this correctly, you can jump to the error right away. Let's take a look at it again. You see there, display selected language. I know it's in there because that's the first thing that it does. Alright, so that's the first thing that it does on this form. So let's go in and add this guy. Design view, subform right here. That's what is missing here. Alright, so I'm going to move that to control in front of the control name. Save. Now it should be fine. Now it should be fine. Now it's going to say, okay, I know where you're at. Okay, so let's see there. That should be fine. Good. Now let's execute this because we don't have those 5 controls in the subform. All right. As a matter of fact, we'll go ahead and before we execute it, so that you see what's going on here. Let's do this first. Let's add this subform in there, so you can really see this, the action, what it does. All right, so that's good right there. I'm gonna move this guy up, and let's make this guy anchor down, stretch down. Let's see what else. We want to take the solid. We don't want border. I don't like border for that portion. And when we click on this guy, all right, we want to update this guy. You see, when we click that, we want to update that guy. We want the form to display the controls for that form. All right, so that's how we do. Save that and close. Let me show you what to do here. I'm going to come in here and copy this object record source right here, copy, and go back to this form. You got that in a clipboard. When you click on this guy, let's go to click event. When we click on that guy, and we'll say, when we click on that guy, and we'll say if not is no me object CBO object name, then do this. So if that guy is not null, we want to do this. We want to say me subform form record source right down there equals select from everything from where object name equals me CBO object name. That's it. That's all she wrote. That's all she wrote. Now, in order to automatically display this guy on load, you see here it says on load. You do the language click right here, and then we identify. We populate the object name. And then if the object name is null, we want to pre-select the first item and call this guy. You see there? And call this subroutine and list the appropriate controls. Alright, so let's save that. Let's see if it does what we want it to do. Alright, display. Object name, where is that? Where is that? Oh, the object name ID, my bad. Sorry about that. Object name ID, that should be object name ID. Alright, there's no object name in there, there's only object name ID. Alright, so my bad. Alright, let's continue there. So there, okay, there are a couple things that we need to fix here. You notice it only display one item, and we got this navigation on the bottom here. So let's massage that a little bit more here. All right, let me show you. Go to the subform, design view. First thing that we want to do here is come to this last tab. And this record selector, no. Navigation buttons, no. Alright, and see this default view, make sure it's continuous right there. And that's for that portion. Alright, now it will list everybody instead of just one. Alright, so let's close that out. We're done with that. Now let's go to the main form, which is the language form. Same here, we want to take the navigation and record selector out. We don't want that. I don't like that. Yeah. Alright, save, close, and relaunch. Perfect. Exactly what we want. It's one more thing that we need to modify on the subform. You see this 0? Let me show you what that is. That is the new column, new record set. Alright, or new record, not new record set, new record. Alright, so we are going to modify that a bit more. Alright, so first off, let's go all the way down here and looking for allow addition. Where are you? Okay, where are you? Oh, here. See this right here? Allow addition. Take that out. And how about deletion? Take that out. So we don't want to add or delete, but we want to be able to update. All right, we want to be able to update. One more thing. Lock this guy. First off, we don't want to modify any of these items because that is predefined. All right, that's how we identify which control, which property. So we're gonna lock that guy. So select those guys and go to the lock, looking for lock right here. See there? See there? So we're gonna lock that. That way we cannot modify those guys. That will be modified in code. All right, in code. Except the display text, we want to be able to update these texts. All right. So that should be the last thing that we're gonna do for that control, for that subform. All right. See now that 0 is gone. Good. And you notice that we don't have anything displayed right here in the label. So that's because we have not executed. All right. What happens if we execute this? All right. You take a look right here. See the 6 items. So let's execute this. See if it adds the rest of us for us. The controls that we add. These guys. Let's execute. Okay, something is null. In the object control name exists by name. Yeah, let's take a look. Let's take a look. This guy right here. This guy right here. Let me see. Oh, this guy right here. All right. We did not set this guy. Remember, we typed this guy in there. We copied this guy in there. All right. But this is null items right here. That's why. This is null item right here. Okay. Because we typed this guy in there. If you recall, if you rewind the video, you will see that I copied this guy into here, except these guys, and those are null value. And when it's null, it's going to bark at you when it retrieves right here. Name by name, right here. This item. This is null value right here. So what we need to do here, we need to close the whole thing out and then delete this guy and reset it. Alright, so go ahead and delete that. So now when we run through this object here, it's going to set it to empty. You see there? Not null, but empty. And that's why we need to reset that guy to empty, not null. Okay? So let's run that again, see if it does exactly what we want. Execute. Good. Watch. It looks like it's null, but it's actually empty because we defined it in there. Alright. So now let's refresh. That's a refresh button. Oh, the refresh button is not on load. Okay, good. It's not displaying is because we already loaded right here. See there? We don't have that refresh button here. We should implement the refresh button. Okay, let's implement the refresh button. That way, if we execute it again, we can refresh this guy right here. And that's the reason why that button is there. Alright, let's go ahead and execute, use this button. I'm gonna copy that. Go to the code behind. We got the execute. We're gonna add another one called sub_click. When we click that, we want to call this guy. And that's why we couldn't display the controls. Alright, Let's try it again. Oh, now onload is going to go ahead and display it for us. Watch. Nice. Perfect. See there? Perfect. That's exactly what we want. Alright, so it displayed correctly. Alright, it displayed correctly. And as I said in this display select one here, this is important here, because you gotta identify if it's subform, then you have to make sure that you have the subform name in there, so it knows what to display, just like this one. Alright, now watch, I'm gonna change this guy right here. Now right here you cannot update because it's locked. All this right here is locked, you cannot do anything to them. Alright, but this last one right here, I'm gonna change that to ID. See how we can update that? Now watch, if I click on that, refresh, that guy will change. Look at that. That update on the fly. Alright, I'm gonna move that guy back to ID correctly. Alright, you know what I want to do here? I'm gonna show you what I'm going to do here. I'm gonna change this burger here, the subform name right here. I'm gonna change that to my language. How about Jack? See there? Oops. Look at that. Alright. So if I click refresh here, this name right here is going to change. Look at that. So now you can imagine if this were French, Thai, Italian, German, whatever, you can update this display. Alright, so if I close here, close, and look at that. That's what I'm thinking. Alright, I think that's what we came to do. We came to update the controls on the fly. Now what we want to do next video, we want to click this button, add language, and we're gonna have a pop-up screen. Type in the language, and then we're gonna pre-populate all bunch of these guys in there. Alright, and then you can update the language. And then you can update the language. Alright, so but right now I'm gonna change that back. Let's change my keyboard here to subform name. Update. So that's what we came to do, and that's pretty that wasn't hard. That wasn't hard at all. So it's I think we got one more video, one more module, and then we'll be adding language. Alright, adding language. Alright, that's that. Happy programming. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe, like, share, and hit that bell. And also comment below, and if you need help, inbox me. Thanks again.